Good evening and welcome to the Clark Township Council meeting. It's Monday, May 15th at 7:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Albanese is absent. Councilman Hund.
Here.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Here.
Councilman Minetti.
Here.
Councilman O'Connor.
Here.
Councilman Toll.
Here.
Council President Smith.
Here. Can everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence to follow? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the
republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Okay.
This meeting is in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, as adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by mailing the annual schedule of meetings to the Star-Ledger, Union County Hawk, Union County Local Source, and Tappan to Clark, by posting such annual meeting schedule on the bulletin board in Town Hall, reserved for such announcements, the official website of the township, and the proper filing of said notice. Formal action may be taken at this meeting.
Regular order of business is going to be suspended. We have a few proclamations and some recognitions tonight. Mayor Bonacorso, can you go to the podium, please?
Thank you, Mr. President, members of council, ladies and gentlemen, and our gun violence advocates here, our travel basketball winners are here tonight, and our EMS. So it's great to have everyone here in our house to hear about all your great accomplishments and what you all stand for. So with further ado, I will have the clerk read the first proclamation, and you're doing the EMS first?
EMS first.
Okay, will President of the EMS, John Henry Barr, join me? And would the EMS like to come up here? You know, these are a very great group of volunteers that we have in our community. Councilman O'Connor, who's the liaison, is with me. They're a great group of men and ladies who serve our community, volunteer basis. They're out there working. Some of you can come on this side if you like, so you can get into the thing here. They're out there for our needs each and every day, all kinds of times, all kinds of weather, weekends, holidays, nights, mornings, afternoons. So, you know, when our EMS is having their fun drive, please support them if you can. And thank them when you see them, because they're going to treat you real well in your time of need, believe me. Madam Clerk?
Proclamation commemorating Emergency Medical Services Week. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and whereas access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rates of those who experience sudden illness or injury, and whereas emergency medical services has grown to fill a gap by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventative medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine, and whereas Clark Volunteer Emergency Squad was founded in December 1941 for the purpose of providing the residents of Clark with emergency medical services, and whereas Clark Volunteer Emergency Squad has faithfully served residents of Clark, visitors to Clark, and provided mutual aid to surrounding communities, and whereas it is fitting and appropriate to recognize the value and accomplishments of the Clark Volunteer Emergency Squad by designating Emergency Medical Services Week in the Township of Clark. Now, therefore, I, Mayor Sal Bonacorso, do recognize May 21st through the 27th, 2023, as Emergency Medical Services Week, and encourage the community to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities at the Clark Volunteer Emergency Squad, and it's signed by the mayor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. President Barr, I'd like to present this to you on behalf of your emergency squad. And again, we'd like to thank the men and ladies who serve us each and every day so selflessly to get us through our very, very difficult times. These are the people, when a loved one is ill, they're there for you. So I hope we have a nice big round of applause in a moment. Would you like to say a few words?
Sure. Mayor, I just want to thank you and the council and everyone who was able to recognize our squad. We do work hard. We do a very difficult job, but we enjoy doing it, and we will continue to do it with your support. So again, thank you for everyone, and thank the mayor and council for their support tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Come on in. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Thank you again. Our next proclamation will be for declaring the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And I think that's a subject that we can all agree on. We need to end gun violence in our nation. As a proud supporter of the Second Amendment and a gun owner myself, I firmly stand with that, but I also believe that the gun violence that's going on in our nation needs to end. And ladies, would you like to join me up at the podium as they read this? You're more than welcome. You're welcome. Good to see you tonight. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming out tonight. Madam Clerk? Thank you.
2023 proclamation declaring the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day. This proclamation declares the first Friday in June to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day in the Township of Clark, New Jersey, to honor and remember all victims and survivors of gun violence, and to declare that we as a country must do more to end this public health crisis. Whereas every day more than 120 Americans are killed by gun violence and more than 200 are shot and wounded, with an average of more than 17,000 gun homicides every year. And whereas Americans are 26 times more likely to die by gun homicide than people in other high-income countries. And whereas New Jersey has 427 gun deaths every year, with a rate of 4.8 deaths per 100,000 people, a crisis that costs the state $5.3 billion each year, of which $168.9 million is paid by taxpayers. New Jersey has the fifth lowest rate of gun deaths in the U.S., and whereas gun homicides and assaults are concentrated in cities, with more than half of all firearm-related gun deaths in the nation occurring in 127 cities, and whereas cities across the nation, including Clark, are working to end the senseless violence with evidence-based solutions, and whereas protecting public safety in the communities they serve is a mayor's highest responsibility, and whereas support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from people with dangerous histories, and whereas mayors and law enforcement officers, in partnership with local violence intervention activists and resources, know their communities best, are the most familiar with local criminal activity and how to address it, and are best positioned to understand how to keep their citizens safe. And whereas gun violence prevention is more important than ever, as we see an increase in firearm homicides and non-fatal shootings across the country, increased calls to domestic violence hotlines, and an increase in city gun violence. And whereas in January 2013, Hadia Pendleton was tragically shot and killed at age 15, and on June 2nd, 2023, to recognize the 26th birthday of Hadia Pendleton, people across the United States will recognize National Gun Violence Awareness Day and wear orange in tribute to Hadia Pendleton and other victims of gun violence and the loved ones of those victims. And whereas the idea was inspired by a group of Hadia's friends who asked their classmates to commemorate her life by wearing orange, they chose this color because hunters wear orange to announce themselves to other hunters when out in the woods, and orange is a color that symbolizes the value of human life. And whereas anyone can join this campaign by pledging to wear orange on June 2nd, the first Friday in June in 2023, to help raise awareness about gun violence. And whereas by wearing orange on June 2nd, 2023, Americans will raise awareness about gun violence and honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. And whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the hands of people who should not have access to them, and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our families and communities safe. Now therefore be it resolved that Mayor Sal Bonacorso of the Township of Clark, New Jersey, declares the first Friday in June, June 2nd, 2023, to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day. I encourage all citizens to support their local community's efforts to prevent the tragic effects of gun violence and to honor and value human lives. Signed by Mayor Sal Bonacorso.
Thank you, Clark. Yes.
This was quite long, so I will keep it short. We are having something on June 3rd at Rahway River Park. If you'd like to join us, it's going to be a lovely peace walk around so that we can honor the people who died this year, especially in Linden and recently. So I hope some of you will join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies. And we appreciate your efforts in trying to keep us safe, believe me. Well, next we're going to go on to the winners, travel girls basketball teams. And let me tell you, the boys are taking a hit here tonight. Where are the boys? Okay, I've coached the girls in travel, and I coached the boys. And I'll say it because I have 2 daughters and 1 son. The girls are more fun. But anyhow, we're happy to have you here. And up here tonight, you have Councilman Hun, was a member of travel basketball, past president, Councilman Smith, myself, Councilman Minetti was coach in travel basketball. And so we have a lot of hometown favorites here tonight for you girls, and we're very proud of you and what you accomplished. Clerk will start off with the 6th grade team. Madam Clerk? The sixth grade girls team? Okay, yeah. First off, I'll read it, then I'm going to ask the coaches to come up. It's the Mayor's Certificate of Achievement presented to Coach Pablo Verona, head coach. It is with great pleasure that I, the Mayor of the Township of Clark, recognize you for outstanding achievement on the 2023 Clark Crusaders 6th grade girls travel basketball team, champions of the Central Jersey North Brunswick Basketball League. Come on up, Pablo. Do you have any coaches with you? Any other coaches? Oh, yeah. Okay. Would you like to say a few words about your girls?
Just want to congratulate them on their hard work and a great season. They put a lot of time in, and the dedication paid off. So very proud of you all.
I'll have you call them out, and they'll come up, and we'll hand the certificates, and you can go on each side. Go right ahead.
Chloe,
Not here?
okay, Luciana Liberto's not here either. Okay, neither is Emma.
Here's Emma.
Okay, Mariella Jujic.
Come on over here. Go on this side. Congratulations. Good job.
Okay, Ellie.
Congratulations, Ellie.
Okay, Jillian.
Congratulations, John.
Hey, Sophia.
Congratulations.
Okay, Ella. Lila.
Congratulations, Lila.
Colleen. She's not here, unfortunately. Camila. Ava Velvik's not here. And Adriana.
Good big team.
Grace. And Olivia.
Girls, why don't you come on this side of the podium too? Kind of we'll share half and half. Come on over. The rest of you squeeze in here and we'll get a picture for you. No, you can't block. Scooch down a little. That's there you go. Parents, you're welcome to take pictures. Stay for a second, girls. Okay? Thank you, ladies. Congratulations. Pablo, thank you. Next. Okay, one more team. Next, we have the girls' 7th grade basketball team, obviously travel team. And I'm going to call up head coach. Well, before I do that, let me just read Mayor's Certificate of Achievement presented to the head coach, Jason Ham. It is with great pleasure that I, the mayor of the Township of Clark, recognize you for the outstanding achievement on the 2023 7th grade girls basketball team. Champions at the 18th annual Lincoln Park Turkey Tip-Off Girls Basketball Tournament. Red Division champions at the 18th annual Clark Winter Tournament, and that is the biggest tournament to win, one I always love to win. So, oh yeah, no, that was the one we played for every year. The biggest and best tournament in the state by far. So Jason Hand, come on up as the coach, and Rob Bauer, come on up as assistant coach. Rob's not here. So say hello to Jason. Want to say a few words, Jay?
I just want to congratulate the girls on a successful season, and actually 2 years in a row winning both of those tournaments, so that's quite an achievement. Thank you to the town for providing the support, the facility, everything, and the rec program for really being partners in the program. So thank you.
All right. Here you go, buddy. You call them and I'll say hello.
Sophia Brower.
Sophia.
Victoria Hackett. Victoria. Juliana Ham. Audrey Humphreys. Olivia Lombardi. Sophie Peterson. Morgan Pettinato. Peyton Ray. And Rosalie Wysocki.
Another white sock. You just say that and say, girls, come on, split up and we'll get a picture. Take that for Rob, okay, buddy? All righty. Wait. Another one. Anyone else like to join in, jump in? Okay. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Good to see you. I see Jason is here tonight, and he's also the president of the league. Ryan Peterson is here. I got to serve a year on the board with these two guys, and they're tireless workers. A lot of time and effort goes into the league, and especially the Clark tournament. It's very long, it's a lot of work, it raises a lot of money for the boys and girls in the program, and we have pride that it is by far the best tournament. I'm not saying that just because we're Clark, I mean it. If you've been to other tournaments, you can see the difference, and I've been to many of them in my career as a coach and as a parent. So congratulations, and I leave you with, go Crusaders, always. Thank you.
Before we take a minute to let you leave, I just want to say a few things on the travel basketball. For the girls, if you don't recognize me, I usually don't have glasses on. I usually have stripes on and a whistle. And I do want to say, I think I officiated Pablo's team at least once this year. I know Jason's team I did at least 4 or 5 times, and you've won every time, so I wonder why. So, no. Anyhow, congratulations, Pablo. I know you had like 15 girls on the team, and that's a tremendous job getting all the girls to play. They improved tremendously. And I had you guys, I think, in Lincoln Park, and then at the end of the year in the Clark tournament, and your team also improved vastly. So kudos to the coaches and to the parents for running them all over the place. So congratulations. We're going to take a minute. If anyone would like to leave, if not, you can stay. Thanks again. Okay, I'd like to resume the regular order of business. At this time, we're going to go to communications from the mayor and reports of township officers. Mayor Bonacorso.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to just remind the community that all DPW services are now in full swing. Our branch pickup, put them out the third week. We'll pick them up the fourth. The grass cleanup is out there. Bulky cleanup is out there. And the DPW crew is out there servicing the community each and every day, and I appreciate their efforts. Clark Police Department reported this month 37 radar details and 12 traffic enforcement details, and I know they're making a concerted effort to try to slow people down on our roadways, so please comply. There's no need to speed around. You could get hurt or hurt someone else. Today, Business Administrator Ulrich and myself had a meeting with Union County officials on the reservoir, and the dredging program is in full swing and going forward. They're going to probably be submitting the permits to the DEP by June. Hopefully, we'll get them done in 3 or 4 months. You don't know. It takes a while to get all the permits in place, and maybe by early next year, we could start dredging. That's just a very loose timetable at this point. So please don't call me on January 3rd and say, where are they? You know, we'll let you know as time goes on what's happening, but I do appreciate the county government and the efforts they're taking, and Senate President Scuteri for his efforts that he's helping us through some great grants out of Trenton. So we thank you very much for that. Just a reminder, Memorial Day Parade is coming up. Join us to remember our fallen heroes. I'd like to also mention, if you haven't noticed, I certainly have, I'd like to congratulate Elizabeth Klee and Don on our TV36 studio. If you're watching TV36, I think you're seeing a lot of content on there, and some pretty interesting content. So I hope you're enjoying that. That is the goal when we brought Liz on board as our Director of Communication and also Business Development, to try to bring more to the TV36 versus some billboard going around and around and around. So thank you for your efforts. As you all, most of you know, we had a movie filmed in the Brewer Gyms at a movie called Y2K, which should be out, I don't know, 9 months to a year, maybe less. I'm not quite sure the timetable, but they came in and rented our facility, and they loved our front gym. They wanted it so badly. At first, we weren't inclined to do it, and then as the pot was sweeter, we decided to go ahead and do it. And it's really crazy to see how a movie is filmed. The work that goes into just doing one scene is just amazing. That concludes my report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Bonacorso. Councilman Hund?
I do not have no report tonight. Thank you, Mr.
Thank
President.
you. Councilman Mazzarella?
Yes, thank you. Electronic drop-off, there'll be none in May due to Memorial Day. Please make a note of that, ladies and gentlemen. Grass pickup, and as the mayor said, has begun on May 2nd. Grass only in biodegradable bags. No piles will be picked up, and no plastic bags, rocks, or branches as well. May starts branch pickup. As the mayor mentioned, put the branches out the third week for pickup on the fourth week. Bulky pickup appointment is required by Thursday, 3 p.m., a week prior to your scheduled pickup. They do not accept concrete, mattresses, box springs, or car parts, to name a few items, and no metal will be picked up. Appliance and metal pickup is by appointment only, and it is required, and DPW picks up every Monday. To make an appointment for mulch or any other delivery, contact DPW at ourclark.com or call 732-428-8402. And recycling should be placed curbside Tuesday night, for pickup starts at 5:30 a.m. on Wednesday. No plastic bags or pizza boxes. And everything that I mentioned is in our residence guide at www.ourclark.com. Thank you. That's the extent of my report.
Thank you. Councilman Minetti?
Thank you, Council President. In the month of April, the Clark Fire Department responded to 36 calls. The calls included, but are not limited to, numerous odors and alarm calls, 1 call for mutual aid, and 6 calls were related to brush and mulch fires. Just a reminder, as we get into hotter days, please keep in mind that most mulch is combustible material and can easily ignite. Some safety tips as it pertains to mulching. Please try to keep your mulch away from your building, siding, wood decking, etc. When you can. Also, try to keep your mulch as moist as possible, especially on these hot days. As always, I would like to thank the members of the Clark Fire Department for their hard work and dedication in keeping our town safe. This concludes my report.
Thank you. Councilman O'Connor.
Thank you. From the Finance Committee, the township continues to be able to meet its current obligations. Thank you to the finance team. And from the Clark Volunteer Emergency Squad, the squad has recruited 2 new adult members, those over 18, and 2 new cadets. They are currently in the process of being onboarded and will be trained in CPR and first aid. The monthly blood drive continues to be a great support in the community. Please consider stopping to donate. Each pint of blood can save 3 lives. The call volume were 77 calls in the month of April with 7 mutual aid calls into surrounding towns, but it does not include any calls where they were dispatched and it was canceled. The total hours responding to calls is approximately 577 man-hours. This does not include any hours the members were on duty but not on calls. Year-to-date call volume is 454 calls. They are continuing to look and interview for new daytime EMT positions. We are looking for people who are interested in becoming drivers for the ambulance. Must be over 18 years of age with a clear driving record. Anyone interested can email the squad at membership@clarkems.org. The squad continues to seek people who can support the squad with their talents. It could be fundraising, social media, or help create member events. Current happenings. The New Jersey Department of Health, OEMS, who is charged with oversight of EMS in New Jersey, has issued new protocols and are making multiple changes to the educational process. The squad will continue to stay on top of these changes to ensure all members are compliant with regulations. These regulations are currently going through the final review and are expected to be released by June. The squad is preparing for activities for the township to participate in the National EMS Week, which is May 21st through the 27th. We hope to have open houses to give free CPR lessons to the residents on Sunday, May 21st. Give us 15 minutes and our members will teach you this life-saving skill. We encourage all council members, coaches, and those who wish to help others to join. Respectfully submitted by Lori Sheldon, trustee of the squad. Thank you very much. That concludes our report.
Thank you. Councilman Toll.
Thank you, Mr. President. From the environmental, we're just going to follow up with some of the comments the mayor made. Thank you, Mayor, for your support over the years. We've been talking about the reservoir for years. The last time the reservoir was actually dredged was in the mid-'70s when we were in high school. It's been that long, and it's very important that nothing else be talked about until that's done. When that's done, we can then talk about recreational use, passive, non-structured, but what the most important thing that has to be done to that water body is a dredge. And thank you, Mayor, for all of your efforts, the county efforts, and the state to get it finally talked about and done. Thank you.
Thank you. And from the Recreation and Pool Report, just a reminder, Memorial Day Parade is Monday, May 29th. Do please come out and cheer on the veterans and all the organizations who march in the annual parade. Kicks off around 9 a.m. on Westfield Ave between Nassau and John Streets and marches to ALJ High School where there will be a presentation in honor of our soldiers who gave the ultimate sacrifice. In regards to the Clark Community Pool, it's currently, memberships are currently available on the town website at www.ourclark.com, and you go to the Pool Utility tab for all the information. You could always stop by the Recreation Office and ask for Ralph or Emily, and the phone number is 732-428-8400. And that's all I have this evening. All reports given this evening are available in the clerk's office and on the township website. At this time, we're going to move to ordinances, appropriations, claims, and public hearing on proposed ordinances.
Thank you, Mr. President. The first ordinance is number 23-16, an ordinance to amend and supplement Section 2 entitled Fees of Chapter 122 entitled Construction Codes Uniform of the Code of the Township of Clark.
At this time, I'll open up the public hearing on this ordinance only. If anyone would like to come up, you have 5 minutes in duration. Please state your name and address to the clerk. Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close the public hearing. Councilman Toll and Councilman Hun, second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? This time, I'd like a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Yes, I'll move it.
Thank you. Councilman Mazzarella, could I get a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Eddy. Jim, you have anything you want to add?
No, other than this, well, the only thing I do want to add is this is the first time these fees have been updated since 2009. That we're bringing them more in line with the surrounding community fees. And, as we discussed at the last meeting, it's something that needed to be done over the last few years.
Any other discussion or questions? Can I get a roll call, please?
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted. Next is ordinance 23-17, an ordinance to amend Article 9, Section 62 of Chapter 347 of the Code of the Township of Clark entitled Private Property Open to Public.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open up the public hearing on this ordinance only. If anyone would like to come up, please state your name and address to the clerk, and you'll have 5 minutes in duration. Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close. Thank you, Councilman Toll. Thank you, Councilman Hund, for a second. All in favor? Any opposed? At this time, I'd like to direct a motion to adopt the ordinance.
I'll move that.
Thank you, Councilman Nitti. Can I get a second? Thank you, Councilman Hund. Any discussion? Jim, you want to add anything?
Yeah, this is to clean up some of our ordinances, just updating the names of the facilities that are occupying the properties now. As an example, A&P to Acme, Bally's Gym to Atlantic Healthcare, and so on. So this is just to clean up the ordinance.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion or questions? Okay, I'd like a motion to adopt the ordinance.
We have a motion, we just need roll call.
I'm sorry, oh, gee, I did that already. Roll call.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Thank you for cleaning up the ordinances. Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Ordinance adopted. Next is ordinance 23-18, an ordinance to amend Article 9, Section 63 of Chapter 347 of the Code of the Township of Clark entitled Fire Zones.
At this time, I will open up the public hearing for this ordinance. You'll have 5 minutes in duration. If you'd like to come up on this ordinance only, please state your name and address to the clerk, and you'll have 5 minutes in duration. Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Get a second? Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I'd like a motion to adopt the ordinance.
Yes, I'll.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Maniti. Any discussion? Go ahead, Jim.
Yes, in addition to what we did in the last ordinance, amending the locations, there are a few locations that were not in our ordinance, the fire zone, so we included them. Clark Commons, Manny's, the Clark Pool, 301 Central Avenue, and the CVS are now included in the ordinance, so this is another cleanup.
Great, thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes,
Ordinance adopted.
thank you. And when you're ready, we'll move to introduction of proposed ordinances.
Okay, the first ordinance is 23-19, an ordinance to amend Chapter 279 of the Code of the Township of Clark entitled Sewers by adding a new subsection 279-26 entitled Grease Traps Registrations Required.
Can I get a motion?
Yes, I'll move it.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Get a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Hund. Any discussion? Anyone? Jim?
Well, this ordinance is to require restaurants to register their grease traps. Grease traps actually keep the grease from getting into our sewer system, and no different than, household plumbing, our sewer system gets backed up in some places where there's a higher concentration of restaurants. So this ordinance will help out in keeping grease out of our sewer system.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else here? Okay, roll call.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
This ordinance will have its public hearing on June 19th. Next is ordinance 23-20, ordinance authorizing the sale of certain land in the Township of Clark to be sold at private sale in accordance with NJSA 40A:12-13B5.
Can I get a motion?
I'll move that.
Thank you, Councilman Hunt. Get a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Any discussion? Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, this property is a piece of property that the township maintains, takes control of. This will release it to, if there is a higher bidder or a bidder that exceeds our limit, that we'll take advantage of, increasing our taxes. In addition to that, we would no longer have to maintain it. This property is on the right-hand side going towards Rawway on Westfield Avenue, just past the bridge.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
I just think the things we're doing here make complete sense, like the BAD stated, right? Increased taxes for us, no more maintenance by the township, and the person who buys it gets to extend their property. So I think it's a win for everybody. Thank you.
Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
This ordinance will also have its public hearing on June 19th. Next is ordinance 23-21, an ordinance amending Part 2, Chapter 338, entitled Trees of the Ordinances of the Township of Clark.
Get a motion, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman
I'll
Toll.
second that.
Thank you, Councilman Minetti, for the second. Any discussion? Yeah, Jim.
This ordinance came down from the state, so we don't have a lot of leeway on it. Some of the things we did have a leeway on are primarily the fees and the type of trees. So the two things that we are working on for this is, we're keeping it consistent with our current fees for removing trees at $30, irrespective of, the diameter of the tree. And the other thing is, when they come in and they want to, replace the trees, DPW, the shade tree director, will determine what is the appropriate tree to replace in that area, given, the soil type, amount of irrigation that it's needed, what other trees are in the area, shady. So we'll, try to make the trees more consistent, what is better for that environment.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Public hearing for this ordinance is June 19th. Next is ordinance 23-22, an ordinance to amend and supplement Chapter 347 entitled Vehicles and Traffic, Section 27 entitled Parking Prohibited during certain hours of the Code of the Township of Clark.
Can I get a motion,
I'll move
please?
that.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Hund. Any discussion here? Yeah, Jim?
Yeah, these are two quick ones. And one is to restrict the parking on the west side of Lupine over by Veterans Field, where we just put in the pickleball courts for those residents. And the other one is so we can do street sweeping on Westfield Avenue. The one on Westfield Avenue is only from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. first thing in the morning. They're going to get the truck out there to do street sweeping.
Great, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Minetti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Public hearing on this ordinance is June 19th.
And now we're going to move to payment of claims. Councilman O'Connor?
Yes, thank you very much. I reviewed. I have reviewed the bills for the month totaling $329,374.88. Thank you.
All right, thank you. At this time, we will open up the citizens' hearing on the agenda. At this time, if you want to come up and speak about anything on the agenda, you just give your name and address to the clerk. All remarks shall be addressed to the council as a body and shall not exceed 5 minutes in duration. Just make sure the microphone's on, Delia.
Delia Collins, 72 Georgia Street, Clark. I'm just wondering, can I speak about the resolutions?
Yeah, anything that's on the
Okay,
agenda.
I'd like to know, on Resolution 15 and 16, is there a cap on the amount of hours that will be used and by these two firms, and what are they being hired for, since we already have a township attorney?
Okay, I'll let Jim answer
Take
that.
it, Mark? I mean, I could take it.
You want to take it, or you want to? All right, go ahead.
Sure, they're being hired to defend the township in a lawsuit for a death, actually, that occurred in Clark Commons. And the plaintiff's attorney has added many people to the lawsuit. And it's uncomfortable for us with all those various players to determine when and if a conflict of interest were to arise. So rather than go down that road and perhaps do something untoward, we've elected to engage two other firms that already work for the town to expand the services they're providing so that they can help defend the town. My firm will also be defending the township in that, just not, the police department's been added, the fire department's been added, a number of police officers have been added, so.
Right, yeah, I
a lot
read
of
it.
players, that's why.
Yeah. Now, are they both working on the same case?
Yes, it's one.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Delia. Anyone else like to come up, speak about agenda items? Okay, seeing no one, I'd like a motion to close this portion.
I'll move that.
Thank you, Councilman Nitti. Get a second?
Matt?
Thank you, Councilman Hund. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we'll move on to resolutions when you're ready, Madam Clerk.
The first resolution is seeking approval of the Director of the Division of Local Government Services for insertion of a special item of revenue in the amount of $55,032 for the New Jersey Association of County and City Health Officers grant.
Can I get a motion?
I'll move it.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. A second, please.
I'll second that, please.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Any discussion? Jim?
Yeah, this is another one of those instances that we're looking for grants to help offset the taxpayers' burden. We are working, well, we have it already, but we put in a proposal to help us out with education, hardware, communicable disease instruction and testing, and also electronic data management, so we could become more efficient. So we're working with the county and the state whenever grants are available for things that we need. And here's just another instance. This was not available when we struck the budget originally, and that's why we're asking to add it to the budget this year.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Questions? All right, roll call, please.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Manitti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Tool.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Next is authorizing release of the performance guarantees and remaining escrow to Woodland Partners LLC for the 32 to 34 Ross Street subdivision.
Can I get a motion?
I'll move that.
Thank you, Councilman Hund. Get a second?
I'd like to second that, please.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Any discussion?
Standard operating procedure, it's been approved and by the engineer in compliance with our township ordinances. So we're just releasing it.
Anyone else have questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Manitti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Tool.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 10 is council as the pool utility, authorizing the purchase of tables, benches, and litter receptacles for the pool from Barco Products in the amount of $17,467.58.
I'd like to move that. Can I get a second?
I'd like to second that, please.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Any discussion on this?
Yes, the tables or receptacles, the benches at the pool were, getting old. Again, this is another instance that we're looking to keep the township and maintain keep the quality of the township and maintain the facilities. And right now, it was $17,467 that's coming out of the capital.
Thank you. Anyone else have questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Manitti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Tool.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Okay, number 11 is award of contract to Top Quality Services LLC for brush and branch grinding in the amount of $40,000.
You got a motion?
I'll move it.
Thanks, Councilman Mazzarella. Can I get a second, please?
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Manitti. Any discussion? Jim?
So here's a successful bid. It's a little bit cheaper. Last year was $8,000. As we discussed at the executive meeting, we changed the process. We are whenever we take in any large pieces of wood, we're going to split them, have them available for the township residents to use as firewood. These are only going to be smaller branches that only have to go through the machine once, so it only have to be tub ground once, as opposed to we were doing it multiple times in the past. So our successful bidder is at $40,000. Again, last year we were at $48,000, and making that small change and giving the township a service, we are in fact saving money year over year.
And more details, I guess, will be forthcoming on the firewood.
Yes, we got to decide where we're going to put it and how we're going to get it out to the residents, but yes, we will.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Anyone else have questions? Roll call, please.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 12 is reappointing Josephine Burkhart and Robert Tarantino as constables for a 3-year term.
Get a motion, please.
I'll move that.
Thank you, Councilman Hunt. Get a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Nitti. Any discussion? Yeah,
No, just an appointment, reappointing both of them, it's nothing new.
Great, thank you. Any other discussion or questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Okay, number 13 is authorizing the mayor and/or business administrator to execute an amendment to the recycling disposal agreement with Waste Management to extend the current contract term to May 31st, 2024.
Motion, please.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Get a second.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Councilman Mazzarella. Any discussion? Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah, this is just standard operating procedure too. When we did the agreement with Waste Management, we had it for a year after our situation with PMUA. We wanted to be sure that we wanted to go into a multiple-year contract, so we were playing it safe. As everybody's heard, they're significantly better than we had with PMUA. While every once in a while is a hiccup, it's nothing close to what we were having, and we're going to extend it for a year too.
Thank you. Anyone else have questions? No? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 14 is award of contract to Schaefer Fireworks for the July 4th fireworks display in the amount of $17,500.
Get a motion?
I'll move
I'll
that.
move that.
Councilman Maniti will move it.
Okay, I'll second.
Second that, Brian?
Yes.
Okay. Thank
talk
you,
to him
Councilman
later.
Toll. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yeah, so this is just the fireworks contract. Schaefer Fireworks was a successful bidder. They've been the ones who have been doing the fireworks for the last, 7, 8, 10 years at least. And they ended up being $12,000, even less than the only other bidder.
Okay, any other questions?
No questions, just a comment.
Go ahead.
All right, Mr. President. One of the most important days in this entire country's yearly calendar is July 4th. It's the founding anniversary of our community, of our world, our country, and how important it is to celebrate it. When you come to the 4th of July fireworks in the Township of Clark, you see the audience, you see the crowds, and it says it all why we're investing in this, to celebrate the founding fathers of this great nation that we live in, and to celebrate America. And I thank the mayor for continually doing it. There was a time in this history of this town that we didn't have it, because they didn't think like we think today. Proactive future of giving back to the community to celebrate an incredible, incredible day. As an historian, it is the most important day. It's like Christmas to us. But thank you. That's all I have to say. Hope to see you there.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, roll call.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
My goodness. Councilman Maniti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes. Thank you.
Council President Smith. Oh,
Yes.
that was out of order, I apologize. Number 15 is authorizing the expansion of the professional services contract with the firm of DeFrancesco Bateman to include litigation services at a rate of $175 per hour.
Get a motion, please.
I'll move that.
Thanks, Councilman O'Connor. Get a second.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Maniti. Any discussion? Want to add anything?
The only thing I'd like to add, well, again, this one's for the police department, but it's not to exceed $44,000, and it's $175 per hour.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else have questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Tool.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 16 is authorizing the expansion of the professional services contract with Barr and Goliath LLC to include litigation services at a rate of $175 per hour.
You get a motion?
I'll move that.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Get a second?
I'll second it.
Councilman Maniti, thank you. Jim, you have anything else to add to us?
No, as we discussed, now 3 times.
Is there a limit on this one as well? 44,000?
Same thing, 44,000.
And that's for the fire department?
This one's for the fire department.
Okay, thank you. Roll call, please.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Tool.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Number 17 is authorizing the mayor and township clerk to execute a developer's agreement with Eurotime LLC for the property located at 221 to 223 Westfield Avenue.
Get a motion?
I'll move that.
Thank you, Councilman Maniti. Second, please.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Councilman Hun. Any discussion? Jim?
This is, a developer's agreement similar to all the other ones that we have, memorializing the planning board's approval of the property and how they're going to maintain sidewalks, sewers, connections along those lines. In addition to that, it lays out the escrows. There's going to be a letter of credit in cash in the amount of $37,352, and then also escrows of $13,606. So there's going to be it lays that out, and it requires supervision, portable toilets and traffic control, and, as we discussed in all the other meetings, this is no different than any other agreement. It just lays out the terms of the construction.
And this is the property between the CVS and Crowicki, if I'm correct?
Yes.
All right, thank you for clarifying. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, roll call, please.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Tool.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes.
Consent agenda resolutions. First one is authorizing the tax collector to refund overpayment of sewer fees in the amount of $892.84. 19 is authorizing the tax collector to apply sewer account balance adjustments as credit in the amount of $10,220. And 20 is authorizing the tax collector to make the proper adjustments for 100% property tax exemption of Block 102, Lot 16, in accordance with a directive from the United States Department of Veterans Affairs.
Get a motion to adopt the consent agenda?
I'll move that, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. I'd like to second that. And go to roll call, please.
Councilman Hund.
Yes.
Councilman Mazzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Maniti.
Yes.
Councilman O'Connor.
Yes.
Councilman Toll.
Yes.
Council President Smith.
Yes. Is there any new business on the calendar?
There is no new business.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we're going to move to public comments. At this time, you can come up and speak about anything on your mind. You'll have 5 minutes of duration. Please give your name and address to the clerk and address your comments to the council as a body.
Can't move that mic to her.
Yeah, yes, you could sit there at the table. Yep. Yes. Either one. Okay.
It's on. You can sit right there.
LASIK is no longer with you, John LASIK?
No, I passed away.
I know him.
Yep, everybody did.
I worked for the township of Cranford.
Did you? That's his daughter over there.
That's his daughter.
Yep.
Hi, Alice. We were on one of the boards together in Cranford. Yeah, I show you.
Oh, hello.
Boy, a little delay.
That's okay.
I didn't know where the voice was coming from.
About 5 minutes.
Don't tell me what I have.
Can you just,
Okay.
95. Good luck.
can you just state your name and
Very
address?
good. I was here about 5 years ago, complaining about something else. All right, I want to,
State your name,
Alice Fernandez,
your address.
33 Emerson Road, of course, Clark.
Thank you.
All right, and she already said my age. I must have mentioned this once before about a staggered light. It's needed at Valley Road and Walnut Avenue. Is it Avenue or Road? Avenue. Where they just put the Walnut Hills development. When you try to make a left turn, you have to play Russian roulette, try to get through before the cars on the other side start to come down. Otherwise, you wait 2 or 3 lights to get through. So my question is, when are they planning to put a staggered light at that corner?
Ms. Fernandez, that's going to be happening, yes. The developer that was part of this agreement to build that Walnut Hills Apartments, so that'll be happening. They're waiting on getting materials. Everything seems to be behind, but that'll be happening before the project is over.
Okay, but that's in the works.
Absolutely.
Okay. Number 2, I guess it was the water department, I'm not sure, that worked on our front lawn. I should have marked down what month it was. It was within this year. They broke up on the curb, that whole area they dug it up. They never fixed it or reseeded or anything since spring has come. But in the meantime, I've had my water sprinkler turned on, and he said to me, and it's very close to where they were working, the pipe was broken. I have the statement here. I mean, if it's related to that, I'd like to be reimbursed. If it's not, fine. But
Well, your problem's with New Jersey American Water Company. And if you would like, Edie, if you could take her name and, of course, we know, and number, we'll have our engineering department call for you tomorrow and
You
ask
got that,
them.
Julie?
Okay?
All right, as long as we know how to address
We
that.
could do that for you.
I'm going as fast as I can.
You're fine.
3, Emerson Road. I've been there since 2007. It's very heavily traveled, and I'm primarily referring to the area that goes from Emerson Road down to Valley Road.
Yes.
That street is very narrow. What has happened is that, I don't know if this is just recent, but every day there are cars parked on both sides, but more than that, there are working vans. There are vans that are employment-type vans. They're huge. For us, we've got people coming up, people going down, people coming in from the side road here, side road. I mean, we had no way, we have to be careful making that turn, that we don't hit somebody. My question is, why do you have them allowed to park on both sides when we have that kind of a situation?
Well, what we can do, Alice, is we can have our traffic department from the police department take a look at that and give us a recommendation on what they think. Yes, absolutely. No problem. God bless her.
Okay.
No? You driver?
I'm a driver, I'm teasing you.
That's okay, you never know.
Well, the man on the corner of Valley Road and Emerson, we put up a fence. It must have been about 6 feet high.
I saw that, yes.
I mean, someone must have complained because he has since taken it down, but that was on my list
Well,
to talk about.
he resolved that for
That
you.
was totally an obstruction for people trying to make the turn. All right, I'm not going to waste time with that. Okay. We have, I'm talking about, I'd like to see a reduction in our taxes. Now, I've been paying attention. Woodcrest, 328 units. That's been built a couple of years back.
Right.
Nevertheless, it's income, okay? Walnut Hills, they're just starting to rent now. They have 168 units. Income for Clark.
That unit is going to help our tax base. We made a very good deal. It's called a pilot program, and the town is going to do very well on that unit, yes. Woodcrest was done under a regular tax agreement, and the schools get half, the county gets 25%, and we get the rest. So this will be one of the buildings under our pilot program that the township will do very well.
I just want to throw it out there because I've been paying attention to all this building going on.
Yeah, we all have, yes.
There is the taxes coming in, you know.
We're hoping that's going to help us, believe
Certainly
me.
should help us. Apartments across from Manny's Diner, they're starting to rent.
Not yet. They're still being worked on, but soon they will be.
But you're going to get revenue from that.
Yes, ma'am.
Then, of course, Clark Commons, and that's the best thing you ever put. I love it.
Thank you.
I mean, but now Terminal Way is also going to be putting a huge development similar
Yes.
to Clark Commons.
Almost done.
And then the first, well, then that's, you know, these are either being planned or being discussed, I don't know. Westwood and Meriton Road, 40 units, Schaeferstein site, Jack's Tavern, 58 units. I don't know if any of these things have gone through yet.
No, Jack's Tavern is the CVS property.
Okay. The reason I'm bringing all this up is I'm hoping to see a tax reduction.
Well, to be honest with you, I don't know if we'll ever see a reduction, but hopefully we can slow the growth of them with all this revenue. So you have a year like we had this year where our health benefit plan went up over $500,000 alone. It's very difficult sometimes to control that, but we will try our best for you, believe me.
You know, I'm probably not the first one who's brought this up.
We pay the same taxes, yes, we understand. None of us like it, believe me.
And I'm finished. I just want to ask you, I think on District 2, I believe Emerson Road.
3.
There's one more thing.
Sure.
Our street, when are you going to repave it?
It's,
horrible.
we have to check with our engineer to see when it's up for paving. We try to rotate this throughout the town so everybody gets
It's
it.
very noticeable to me because I can't go far. When I go out, I can't use the sidewalks to walk on. I use the walker, I go into the street. The potholes that have been filled, they're breaking apart. The streets are all broken up. And so, anyway, you say that's going to be done soon?
We're hoping, I'll check the list. I don't know where it is on the list, but we have to check.
Okay.
the Engineering
I want
department.
to bring it to your attention.
Thank you, ma'am, again. Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Allison. That's it.
If I could just state something, just to sort of back my mother up. Go ahead. I'm holding the chair. Go ahead.
Can you state your name and your address?
All right, go.
Wait, you can wait till you seat your mother, and then you can come back.
You want to sit back over there or over here? Give me one second. I don't even need a microphone, I'm very loud. So,
It's all right, we need it for the TV.
okay, sorry. So I reside at 33 Emerson Road. My first name is Julie, my last name is Holzer. That is my mother. So just to back my mother up a little bit more on what she's referring to, I'm actually representing an old neighbor of mine. The reason I say old is because he born and raised in Clark. He raised all his kids. They're all in their 30s, married, grandchildren. Bob is actually away right now. But what he wanted me to mention was, as my mother said, so when you come down Valley Road, okay, normally I come down that way. I also occasionally come the other way, but that's obviously not as much as the problem. It seems like coming down Valley Road and making the left onto Emerson, okay, yes, that one house on the corner, there's multiple people in that house. I mean, they're old-time Clark residents. There must be at least 8 or 10 kids in that house. The whole side of that road is lined up with their cars, including a 16-passenger van. Then on the other side, which is the side that my mother was talking about, yes, they've got boats out there, they've got trucks out there, they've got every driveway that I took notice. I don't really pay much attention, but when I do, each driveway is occupied with at least 2 cars per house. I think there's about 4 houses there. So it's really tight. It's very dangerous. Okay, I'm a driver. I work for Villani Bus Company. I've been driving for 9 years experience. So it's a dangerous, area. Other than that, I just have one question. Maybe if you guys are all from Clark, which I'm sure you are if you're on the board, how are we going to move in the future with all of this opening up? I mean, you can't even get through now. I mean, it might sound like a really stupid or funny question, but the traffic is going to be horrendous. I mean, it's just, you can't get through, and that's why she's mentioning staggered light.
We agree with you 100%.
We do agree with you, and it's going to be that way in every town in Union County.
Westfield.
This low-income, high-density development that was passed out of Trenton, court mandated, is going to stagger the entire state. Our areas first, the farmlands out south and west, and they'll get there eventually. But we said this back in April of 17 when we had to start adopting this plan, that this was going to happen, and this is what Trenton wants, and this is what Trenton's getting. But yes, traffic is heavy. You notice that in this community, any other community, it's just what it is. We're going to end up, becoming Queens, New York before it's all over with someday.
No longer the suburbs, it's the city now. Yeah, it's true, it's true.
Thank you, Julie.
Cranford builds there,
Cranford, we're all going to
but
come to a
that's been
stop.
approved.
Does anyone else like to come forward?
I mean, I don't like to bring things up that you can't do anything about. But you're right, everybody's complaining about traffic these days.
At this time, I'd like a motion to close this portion of the meeting. Thank you, Councilman Toll. Get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Councilman Nitti. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay, Mayor Bonaccorso, any closing comments?
Mr. President, I missed it on my paper here. Last week, we had a house fire on Liberty Street, and again, I would like to thank the police and First Aid for being out there, but most importantly, the Clark Fire Department did a great job of knocking that fire down very quickly. So thank you to all the emergency services that were out there, but a special thank you goes out to the CFD for a great job for Chief Sarasa and his men keeping that house really damaged, but not to the ground. So thank you very much. And that concludes my report.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Hund?
Thank you, Mr. President. I would just like to agree with the two ladies with regards to Emerson. That's been brought to our attention many times, so I know the captains will have the traffic bureau out there to check it out and see what it's all about.
Is your mic on?
And then also, with the warmer weather now, I've noticed more and more children are out there playing and bike riding, so just please be careful when you're driving down the street and ask your children. I have a 19-year-old who likes to drive a little too fast, so anyone that has children of that age or new drivers, just ask them to be careful of the younger ones that are playing. And that concludes my report, Mr. President. Thank you.
Councilman Mazzarella?
Yes, thank you, Council President. Just one quick comment. Please lock your doors and your vehicles and your house at all times. When you're home or when you're away, keep your doors and your vehicles locked. You don't want to have an opportunity where somebody will enter your vehicle and then ultimately, if it's at home, they could enter your house as well. So please keep your doors locked at all times. Other than that, be well, stay safe, and God bless.
Thank you. Councilman Minetti?
I just want to congratulate the girls' basketball teams, Coach Jason, Coach Pablo, for a job well done. It's nice to see that we're developing some good, strong players. Other than that, I just want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day and a great start to the summer. That concludes my comments for tonight.
Thank you. Councilman O'Connor?
Yeah, just a couple things. EMS Week, May 21st to the 27th, and more importantly, as we read in the report, Sunday, May 21st is free CPR lessons. Get them 15 minutes, and they'll also help you save a life. In fact, not sure if everybody knows this, but our business administrator, Jim Ulrich, is an EMT as well. And Jim, I'm sure you can attest to how important CPR is in saving people's lives. Okay. Additionally, we had speakers come up regarding gun violence and talked about a peace walk on June 3rd. Unfortunately, I was unable to hear the location and the time, so Liz Klee had asked for them to send her the information when she gets it, if she gets it, which I'm sure she will. So she'll put that out on social media, so if you're interested in participating, please keep an eye on Clark Township for that information. That concludes my report for this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman O'Connor. Go ahead, Councilman Hunt.
It's going to be held in Royway River Park, but she did not say the time for the gun walk, so we just find out the time.
Okay, thank you. Councilman Toll?
Thank you, Mr. President. It was mentioned about traffic. Traffic's never going to be, it's history repeating itself. 56, 75 years ago, that's right, 75 years ago, the farmers had rural farm roads. The rural farm roads, the farmers sold, one of their own sold off the property and went to developments, went to housing developments. Post-World War II, you had a housing development, and the request for housing occurred. And the farmers didn't like when all the traffic, the city people they used to call them, occurred. So they went from there to more and more people coming in and more traffic compared to what we're dealing with today. So essentially, progress will continue. We cannot stop it. For those we've lost in the last month, Mrs. Alice Buccarelli, mother of Chris, Greg, and Lynn. Mrs. Judith Cantor. Mrs. Cantor, dear mother of Joe, Michael, and Karen. Michael was class of 78, and Karen was class of 79. And Mrs. Jean Sweeney, the beloved husband of Mr. John Sweeney, son of Michael, Thomas, and daughter of Christine. And Mr. Herbert Bueller, a 56-year resident of Clark, and lucky of magic of life, shall be remembered for all who knew him. And we also lost Jonathan Melly, ALJ class of 2003, number 9 as he was known on the ALJ football team, and a friend to all. With all this said and done, we'll see you Memorial Day. We wish you the very best. If you need anything, just give us a call.
Thank you, Councilman Toll. Counselor, you have anything to add?
No comment.
Thank you. Jim, you have anything to add?
No comment.
Madam Clerk?
No comments, thank you.
Okay. And the only other thing I want to remind people, Memorial Day Parade, Monday, May 29th. Please come out and line the streets. I know the people marching in the parade love to see all the children and families, and as well as Ralph Bernardo, who organizes this and puts a lot of time and effort into it. So with that said, I'd like a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Councilman O'Connor. Second, Councilman Hunn, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? See you next month.